Live stream. All right, so I'm all ready. All right, so one of the things that I got follow up feedback on the Ayurveda course was that, so I want this to be a very interactive session. Um, uh, was that the concept of kapha pitta vata is not that easy to grasp or apply. Okay, so one moment, let me see. One second, I just put it in the group. Okay. So the concept of kapha pitta vata mm, is not that easy to understand. And so I wanted to make it easy. Okay. So that's why I'm doing this session. So how to make it, so how to understand it. So I want your feedback in the end. So let's start the presentation with all right, so let's put it in the chat box. Is that, do you understand what is kapha pitta vata? Okay, so can we, let me have, okay, you understand. How about the rest? Do you understand the kapha pitta vata? Just put it in the chat, or you can know little bits. Okay. How about Nagraj? Yes, you understand. Okay. How about Padma ji? You understand what it is? All right. Now, an easy way to understand what is kapha pitta vata is the uh, now kapha is the building blocks of your body, your structure. So, what does this include? Your physical body, so your face, legs, hands, muscles, ears, nose, all these things. Okay. So kapha is the structural element of your body, and the qualities of kapha, if you look at your physical body, it's cold, heavy, stable, solid, unctuous, slow, and smooth. Okay. So these are the qualities literally of your kapha or the body. Okay. So if you see, your body is heavy, it's stable, it's solid, it's unctuous, slow, smooth, representing nourishment, structure, stability. This is very important. Now, let me give you a few examples of vegetables and fruits that represent kapha. For example, if you look at these vegetables, avocados, bananas, cantaloupe, coconut, dates, figs, what do you see in all of this? These are heavy, juicy. Okay, they are very juicy and they are heavy. Anything that is sweet is heavy. Anything that is juicy, so it is cold, heavy. Now, cold can be two things: cold, and it can be dry also, right? For example, something. can you give an example of something that is cold and dry? Right? Can anyone give an example of something that is cold but dry? So you can put it in the chat box. Say cold and wet. Okay, cold and dry. Like banana. Banana is sweet, cold. Normal temperature, it's cold. It's not hot food. So when you eat it, your body also becomes cold. Correct? And cold, wet, watermelon. Okay, that is right. But watermelon, interesting thing is, once you eat it, your body becomes heated. So it is so there is something, when you eat something, it may feel cold. That's an interesting thing in Ayurveda. Banana is not dry, banana is cold, sweet, and heavy. So, sweet taste is heavy. So, once you put something into your mouth, so then there is something called as the post effect, post digestion effect. So, that is hot or cold. So, kapha means once you digest, it still remains cold effect. Like banana, once you eat, once it digests, it becomes sweet and cold. Okay? So it makes your body more cold. For example, let's give an example. If you're having cold, any one of you had cold? Right? Most of you have had cold.
Yes.
So what do you do when you have cold? Do you eat a banana?
No.
No. Why?
Makes you
Why
cold.
don't you eat a banana? Right? It makes you more cold, right? More mucus, more wet. Correct? So if you wanted uh, to fight the cold, then you need heat. Correct? You need heat to fight the cold. So that is where pitta comes in. Okay, we go back here. So kapha is, so once you eat anything. For example, you eat dates if you are having cold, if you are feeling heavy. You eat cantaloupe or you eat bananas. So that makes you more heavy, right? Now, for example, if you look at pitta, it's the hot quality. So kapha is cold, your structure, right? Your hands, for example. So this is kapha. Now pitta means what is flowing inside. What is flowing inside the hands? Blood, plasma, everything. It's a lot of liquids. Hydrochloric acid, all that. So what are all those liquids? Hot, light, sharp, oily, liquid, and mobile. Okay. So that is all pitta in your body, everything that is flowing. So its job is transformation. So kapha provides your physical structure, solid stability, and pitta provides your internal transformation. So once you eat something that is cold and sweet and builds your body structure. So sweet, salty, sour, these three tastes are associated with mostly with kapha. So kapha is that which builds your body, right? If you want to put on weight, then you need more kapha. So for example, you eat potatoes. Now potatoes are very heavy. If you have mucus, they build more mucus. Okay. Cucumbers, right? So cucumbers are also heavy. They are cold, they are wet, they are heavy. Now, pitta is all your internal juices. Okay, they are hot, light, sharp, oily, liquid. Now, for example, if you take chili, peppers, garlic, radish, raw onions. So they are all heating in the body. As soon as you put into the body, they give you all these qualities. They are hot, they are light, means they move very fast, sharp, they can sting, they are oily, liquid, and mobile. Liquid and mobile. Okay. So, for example, when you put chilies, when you eat chilies, garlic, radish, raw onions, all these things, so they increase heat in your body. They move sharp, they move fast, right? They move fast. Now, those are called pitta foods that heat up, that have all these qualities. They hit. Some of them have pitta, kapha, pitta, vata, mixed effects. Not everything is a pure effect. But chili, for example, it does heat you. It has no kapha quality. It doesn't build your body. It actually uh, weakens your body. Or it can be beneficial to move the food because it is heat, it moves the food. For example, if you eat something very heavy like potato, kapha can be stable. Your potatoes can sit in your belly for long before digesting. Pitta is something that digests very fast. That is why they say add cayenne pepper to your food. Add something that will move the food. Add something very a little bit so that something hot so that the food moves. And anyway, when you eat a cold food and a hot food, there is a difference. So when you eat cold, its circulation is very slow. When you eat hot, the circulation is very fast, right? So pitta, lemon, lime, oranges, grapefruit, unripe fruits. So unripe fruits are a little sharp. Hmm? So unripe fruits are very sharp. For example, pineapple. So pineapple is, although it's cold, but its effect is heating. Similarly, watermelon, although we think watermelon quenches your thirst, it is like kapha, but eventually for those who have little bit of pitta, those who have heat in the body, when you take something like that, it heats your body even more. So initially it has a cold effect, but the vipaka or the post digestive effect is heat. So if the post digestive effect is cold, heavy, then it's kapha. Slow, smooth, like banana is smooth. Mm? So is most fruits basically are kapha because they increase mucus. So suppose you have cold, seasonal allergy, you don't eat banana. What do you can eat? You can eat some berries. So berries are heating. So they are considered pitta. Okay. So if you have cold and on top of it you eat foods which cause more mucus, which increase kapha. For example, potato, sweet potato, squash, cucumbers. Cucumbers, if you eat, you get more cold. Your kapha increases more. You see the logic here? Hmm? So that's how you should identify what is kapha and what is pitta. When do you need kapha? When do you need pitta? Generally, by logic, we can understand. But how does it work in Ayurveda? It's a beautiful science. All right. Before I go to Vata, I would like to see how many of you understood. Can I have you can put it in the chat. Understood, not understood. I really want to see how many of you got it. Or if you have any questions, comment, please. Because I want it to be interactive. Nareshji, you got it? Understood. Okay. That's good. Anybody else? You can message everyone instead of direct message. Meeting group chat. Some foods have dual properties. Exactly. That is true. This is helpful. Okay. Some foods have dual properties. Exactly. For example, Like watermelon. Watermelon is considered pitta because the post digestive effect is heat. But it has kapha also. It is cold, it is wet, and but it's fast moving. Watermelon doesn't make you heavy. If you see once you eat, it doesn't make you very heavy. So it is slightly kapha because it does have that cold and other effect. But once it digests, it becomes pitta. Uh, Understood. Basically, kapha foods, cold, pitta, post digestive effect is heat. Correct. So, pitta in your body is all that is heating. Your body needs heat. So, that heat, a watermelon, okay for vata to eat, definitely. Because vata needs pitta and kapha to move. So, those who are vata, they need, their body can become very cold. Okay. For example, winter season is considered vata season. So your body becomes very cold. And because of that cold, there is cold outside, your body becomes cold, your movement can be affected. Your joints begin to pain, your joint becomes tighter because the air becomes dry. So the difference between kapha and vata, okay, here's the thing. The difference between kapha and vata is is here you see cold, light, dry, rough. So vata. So you see cold is common, kapha and vata, but vata is light. Okay, vata is dry. So it is opposite of kapha. So for example, those who are heavy, those who are overweight, they are not light, they are heavy. So their problem is they have excess kapha, too much fat, too much kapha, too much mucus. Dry. Vata means you are lean. So those who are very lean, very dry, so they have vata properties rough. Kapha is smooth, okay, rough, mobile and subtle, governing movement, communication, and the nervous system. Okay. Uh, because of pelvis can feel very cold. Well, I used to learn. Okay. So bitter, raw, or astringent vegetables. For example, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, corn, mushrooms, raw onions, peas. Now, for example, uh, for example, let's say, I think for Vata, some of the examples would be, let's give a something that is highly Vata that can make you really dry. So if you go to an Ayurvedic doctor, first thing he will say is don't eat very dry foods, foods that make you very dry. Okay, can you give me an example? Can you give me some examples? What are very dry foods? Can you put it in the chat? Crackers. Ah, nuts, dry nuts, correct. Granola. Okay, that's a good point. Okay, granola, bread, nuts. Okay, anything more? Dry nuts, right? So, for example, if somebody has vata, excess vata, the doctor will say, or Ayurvedic, this one will say that don't have dry nuts. Okay, don't have dry nuts because they'll make you more dry. Now, let me ask you an experience. After you eat fried foods, what happens? You feel you feel uh, how do you feel after you eat a lot of fried food? Let's see. Can you put it in the chat? Heavy? Okay. Anybody else? Nobody's eaten fried here. Suppose I eat half of a chips bag. What happens to you? Can't eat hardly anything fried. Okay, good point. You don't can't eat it. It makes you heavy. Anybody else? Once you eat, it makes you very dry. Thirsty. Exactly. That was the point I was trying to find. Is that you become very thirsty. Why? Because when you fry something, it squeezes and makes it dry. It evaporates all the moisture in that food. And because it doesn't have any moisture, once it enters your body, it absorbs all the moisture within your body and makes it wet. Okay? And it makes it wet. And once it absorbs all the moisture within your body, you feel thirsty. So, dry food, so fried foods are also vata. The only fried food which benefits you is that which is fried in ghee. Can you have nuts after they are soaked? Yes. So that's a way to neutralize the dryness. So, to neutralize the dryness, you soak the nuts. Okay, you soak the nuts. For example, if you get dry almonds, if you eat a lot of dry almonds, let's say peanuts. If you eat a lot of peanuts, then you feel very dry. You can see the moment you start eating, once they fry, dry fry the peanuts or roasted peanuts, once you have it,
Oh,
you feel very
oh,
dry. Hmm?
yeah, yeah. I'm in a training.
Okay, okay.
Eh, I'm sorry.
So, so if you eat dry foods, so you have to compensate with water. So that's why your food should have a mix. So even if you are having something dry, so that's why people eat something dry and have some coffee or tea or something, right? You eat some dry snack like chips or something like that, and they have something to drink. So it's dry and wet. But actually, you should not have lot of dry foods because that will increase vata. Okay. So basically, what happens is you have you have to have a balance of kapha, pitta, and vata. For example, if you are feeling very weak, so what do? You take electrolytes, water to hydrate and to feel heavy. Agree? Because they give kapha, they give that movement, right? Coffee is dehydrating. Is it drying in Ayurveda, right? Coffee, there is not much mention in Ayurveda, by the way. Coffee, there is not much mention. Coffee is coffee is very small amounts is okay, but in general, if you have more than 2 cups, on that too, here people have black coffee. So coffee also drains your muscles. They makes you very weak. Okay. So coffee in general is when you are feeling very, very weak. That is like you need cortisol. Only then it's beneficial. But otherwise, coffee is not that beneficial. So kapha, pitta, vata. So you need a balance. So for example, in winter season, we have more hot soups. We don't eat a lot of cold stuff. In summer season, you can have more cold stuff because the season is already hot and drying. So you need kapha. In winter, it's vata kapha. It's dry, it's cold, it's sort of wet. So you need pitta. So you need hot soups, hot foods. So in this way, depending on your bodily situation, you have to balance it. Now, the interesting thing is that in diseases like diabetes and everything, you have to have a balance. Okay. So you have to build up a balance between, you have to have a balance between uh, the you have to look at the season, your body situation. So mostly, if you look at uh, diabetics, insulin resistance, so they end up overeating because there is low agni, means the digestion is very weak. You overeat, and overeating, the food is santarpana, over nourishing the body, and there is not enough depletion. So that is why you have to detox, eat light. In Ayurveda, any type of health issue you have. So the last slide I wanted to talk about allergies today. Now let's talk about. So when you talk about allergies, okay, let me. Okay. So today autoimmune I will talk about. All right, here. So if you look at now, what happens is in every season we end up overeating something. Okay, in winter you eat lot of soups, overeat, and by the end of winter there is a lot of pollen and everything, undigested food, seasonal buildup of dosha. So what happens is in winter there's a lot of mucus being built up, lot of cough being built up. There is a lot of kapha, lot of vata. So the dryness, the air, all these things build up. So this is what causes allergy, because by the time spring, the season outside is changed, and whatever is built up within you, it's trying to detox it. So that's why the mucus starts to release, because you don't need that mucus, for example, at the end of winter. So that's why they call it spring cleanse, because in winter you build up all this mucus, then in the season there is a lot of pollen in the air, so all that, so all these doshas build up. So then at the end of, you have to have a light diet, and then you have to detox. You have to remove that excess cough. So then we do a salt water cleanse, vomiting, right? You do a salt water vomiting. When you have a light diet, what happens? When you have a light diet, you allow that excess fat, excess mucus to go out. Because when you eat light, what happens? So that's why some fast or eating light or eating more spices that balance it out, and then following up with a balanced diet. The other one is the Virechana cleanse I talked about, the 7-day detox, right, with the ghee. Hmm? So in that way, uh, all right, thank you, Victoria. So basically, if you do the detox, right, so then what happens is, by come summer or during that seasonal break, during the change of the season, is when all your allergies come out. So if you detox them, then the allergies will go away. So you have to detox with all the different techniques. Excess mucus, you do a salt water vomiting. Excess pitta, you can do the ghee detox. Then excess vata, you can do the ghee detox. You can do like a light diet to balance the vata, and also eat foods which are more pitta, right? So different people do different things. Light fasting. Now, for example, last 10 days, I've been doing one meal a day, just one meal a day. And but I add a lot of ghee because I need the kapha to sustain. So I add our brand Ashwagandha ghee and Brahmi ghee in my diet. And that food really helps me. So I've been able to completely see all my stats are good with that. Hmm? The sugar levels, everything. Just one meal a day. But I add plenty of ghee. And if I feel very hungry that I can't sustain, then I take a little bit of salad. So in that way, I'm able to maintain both. So that's the way you have to balance. Okay. So you have to see what you have in the body, whether it's excess kapha, whether it's mucus, or whether it's dry cough. So even if you can have cough, you can have dry cough or wet cough. So if it's wet cough, it's kapha. If it's dry cough, it's vata. If it's something inflaming, heating, then it's pitta. So you have to see that, and you have to eat the vegetables, the vata vegetables, the pitta vegetables, or pitta fruits, or vata fruits. In that way, you can balance it out. Which ones are good? Okay. So that's how it works. So basically, for allergies, for example, seasonal change. Now you can clearly see. Now season is changing from kapha vata to pitta. Summer is pitta. So the kapha vata that has been built up, your body needs to detox it. So once you detox at the spring cleanse, then in the summer, so in between a season is the best time to detox something. Okay, and once you do that, you have to have the dosha balancing diet. So if I was very heavy, if I'm overweight, then I add more pitta. If I am very light, then I add more kapha because I want to gain weight. But at the same time, if you're a diabetic, you have to understand that condition. So you have to see among the kapha, there is a lot of vegetables. Now, that which balances your sugar, for example, you have to do that. Or if you have allergies, then is it due to kapha, excess kapha? If you have too much mucus coming out, so I need pitta and vata. I need to dry it out, right? For example, I was amazed to find that pineapple, right? It's good for cold because it's heating and it can dry out as well. But pineapple is also at the same time it has high sugar. So for those who are diabetic, it may not be very suitable. But in general, it can be suitable. It can benefit you. Okay, so you have to balance it out. So that's my. So if you understand the kapha pitta vata principle, then you will see that it you can see what to eat, what not to eat. Okay, and that is very important because everything has dual characteristics. So once you eat upfront, like we talked about watermelon, it's I was like it's cold, it's hydrating, all that, blah blah blah. But at the end, the post digestive effect is heating. And I could see that actually it heats up your liver. So if your body is very cold, kapha, it's very beneficial. But if your body is pitta, you have heat, then it heats you up more. It can. If you have a weak liver, then watermelon is not good. So that way, you have to kind of balance out. Like berries, although they are heating, but they don't overheat you. But watermelon does overheat you. So each one has a certain quality in Ayurveda. So you have to kind of observe what works for you. So although you say for kapha, pitta is good. Now for pitta, among pitta, there's a wide range of vegetables, fruits. Which one suits you? Suits your situation. Among herbs also, lot of herbs, but which one suits you? So you have to kind of figure that out. So that's how Ayurveda works. That's how the whole system works. And if you can figure it out, if you can assess your situation, so that requires and you know, am I feeling very dry? Okay, that's vata. Hmm? Am I feeling inflamed? Am I feeling very hot? Okay, that's pitta. Am I feeling very cold, very heavy? Okay, that's kapha. And it can be a mixed effect of both. Like I said, winter, it's cold and dry at the same time. It can be wet, but it can be drying at the same time. Just like if you go to, if you are stuck in a snowstorm, you feel cold, and if the snow falls on you, it can be wet, but also your whole body starts to become dry. Immediately you begin to feel dryness, right? Because the wind is dry. The snow may be there, but the wind makes you dry. So that is a vata predominant. Now, which one is predominant? Now, if it's only raining or if it's only snowing, it can be more kapha. But at the same time, it's windy, it's vata, right? It's dry. Air is always dry, blowing wind. So you have a mixed effect of kapha vata, and then you have to see which ones. So at that time, you need something hot, soupy, hot water, right? Because you need something that is hot, that is flowing to counter both liquid, hot, hydrating, and flowing. So these three qualities, if you understand of what kapha stands for, pitta stands for, vata stands for, then you have to do the opposite. For example, if somebody is overnourished, somebody is fat, then you need the opposite. You need depleting foods like more cayenne pepper, more chili, eating light. So vata is eating light. So all these things, fasting. So you have to kind of, there are three levers. So you have to move them so that you are always in balance. At the same time, you need good exercise also. So your diet, exercise, for example, if you don't sleep whole night, what happens? You feel acidity in the morning because your pitta has gone up. Because when you sleep, your pitta is taken care. If you don't sleep, it inflames your body. Your pitta has gone up. You feel kind of that acidity, and you feel what do you call very weird, right? You can have concussions. So in that way, your activities can be aggravating, can imbalance you. So you have to bring that to balance. So what do you do for that? If you haven't slept all night, so then what do? You drink something which will cool you down. Camphor water. hmm? So you do something like that. You eat some like fruits. You sleep well. All that stuff. Hmm? So when you do all of that, then you sleep well back, and then it will balance you out. Okay. All right. So that's what I wanted to explain. And actually, I got a lot of feedback saying, can you make the concept of kapha, pitta, vata easier? So I tried to make it easier here. So I would like to know your feedback. You can even unmute and you can talk. Please feel free to do so, or you can put it in the chat. Uh, did all of you get the kapha, pitta, vata concept? How many of you understood it? Let's say yes, or let's put a hand or something like that in the chat or otherwise. Let's see. Gal review. Understood. Okay. You can even raise your hand. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Some of you are showing a thumbs up. Got it. Okay. Good. All right. So looks like most of you got it. Sorry, I joined late, but have basic understanding. Good. All right. Kind of understood few concepts. Good. If you understand some part of it, then it's a success because it takes time. Like it takes years for me to get here to explain it so easy. Okay. All right. All right. And before we end, do you have any questions? You can unmute and ask questions, or you can put it in the chat, and then we'll wind up for today. No? Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes, I have
Hare
one
Krishna.
question.
Mm-hmm.
And if we need, we can maybe you can answer outside. But I was just wondering because I was going to do the Vrachana, but then I got a little bit sick, and I noticed I have some excess mucus. So I'm wondering if maybe I should wait to do the Vrachana and like just eat light for a few days and then start once the mucus is cleared, or if I can still just start the Vrachana.
You can start it. That's okay because it clears both excess kapha and pitta.
Okay.
So it can do it. That's not. It will definitely help in both ways. Hmm?
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
because it clears all the all the imbalances. Hmm? All right. Very good point. And I just wanted to make an announcement. So this weekend we are starting the yoga room. So it's our membership program, but first month is free. So we will have yoga classes, techniques, mudra, meditation, pranayam. Also, I'll be doing some intense workouts like you can do 10 minutes, 15 minutes, short workouts, calisthenics, pull ups, push ups, different techniques. So that'll start this weekend. I'll share it in the group and in the email. And you can sign up And as I said, the first month is free, and we have 3 days a month live classes. And post that, you will have a lot of workouts within the course. Like you sign in and you can choose a workout for the day, just play and practice. And then you can join the live classes, yoga and meditation. And we'll have some seminars like this as well. So it'll be a part of the membership. Okay. But first month, like I said, I'm showing various techniques and I'm using the opportunity to record so that everybody gets a chance to try it out, see, and then you can sign up for that. Okay. All right. Wonderful. Thank you all for joining today. Hope it was beneficial. And we will see you all. We'll see you all. So Thursday, I'm doing a certificate distribution for the course. Okay. For those who completed the Ayurveda 101. So Thursday. So I'll announce it in the group, and we will see you all on Thursday again. All right. Take care. Bye. All right. Take care. Thank you all.